So how'd you guys come up with the name Cool Bomb?
That's what the Japanese emperor called the atomic bomb before he knew it was called the atomic bomb. So basically, the quote was, "The enemy has used cruel bombs," and atomic stuff has always been kind of interesting to me. So that was just something that I went off of to start when we started with the demos, and just kind of stuck.
So it's always been like Cruel Bomb. You never had like any different names.
No, just cruel bomb.
If there was like any other names, what would it be if there was names like floating around?
Actually, I'm the only one who picked the name because I started it before I met these guys. But I would say atomic. Atomic was one that I was working on. That was like a working title, and then eventually I was just like, now that's there was another band in like Australia called Atomic,
Hmm.
and Cruel Bomb just stuck, and I stuck with it. And I thought that was really important to just kind of like be on one name as opposed to just like kind of flip flopping between a bunch.
Who are some like influences when it comes to like writing and recording the songs?
The big four of thrash metal is probably always a given.
Hmm.
Um, I think we all have our own personal tastes too. So, but I would say mostly thrash, like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth for sure.
And a hardcore side, of course. And I think that's something that we try to push, not push, but it just comes out naturally with us is that we like to be super fast, but we also like to show that we have a lot of groove in our influence as well with the hardcore genre.
What got you into music? Like, was it something you guys started like a young age, or was it over quarantine?
No, for me, it was playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and as I was running people over, I heard Slayer, Raining Blood, and Anthrax Madhouse, and I thought that is the perfect energy to run people over to. And ever since then, I got I was attracted to the heavier music, and my mom was an '80s hair metal person, so I got a little influence from there. But yeah, literally from a video game is what started me liking heavy metal, and then shortly after that, I started playing guitar a little bit, and I think it just took off from there for me at least. What about you, Brand?
My mom also liked 80s hair metal, so that was kind of the start. And then new metal actually was the big thing Disturbed, so that's what I kind of heard with heavy stuff. But then I bought my first Megadeth CD, and then it's been just pretty much thrash and harder stuff since.
Both of my parents do not like metal. Maybe they like metal now, but they didn't before. So, um, I grew up listening to like bands like Boston and Styx, and my parents bought me my first drum set when I was 8. And then once I heard double bass for like the first time, I became like obsessed with it. So ever since, I just kind of I don't know. I always wanted to play like as fast as possible. So that's kind of turned me on to metal and thrash metal for sure. So
That seems to be like the main answer too with people who are in like death metal or thrash metal. Like their parents weren't really like big into metal, and they grew up with like the classic rock bands.
yeah, I mean, I still listen to those bands to this day. So I grew up with them and listening to them. So
So what would be like the craziest thing that you've seen happen at one of your shows?
So I'm so glad you brought that up. So
I'm curious what you're gonna say.
was it the last show? It was
Two
two shows
shows
ago. We played a show at the Alternative Gallery in Allentown. I won't mention any names for band's sake, but there was one fan that was slightly under the influence, and he was the type of guy that has fun thrashing around, and he just had a little bit of different energy than the rest of the crowd had. A great example was while between songs, Brand was giving an intro to the next song verbally, and all of a sudden you hear this loud smack. It would go boom, and it would turned out being a guy had a full beer and he whipped it at Mach F directly at this person's face that was standing 2 feet away from him and cracked off the side of his head. And literally, just everyone just went, whoa, and you heard that through the microphone. And then about 4 minutes later, it started like a five-person brawl during a song, and we just kept playing through it because we just kind of thought it was awesome. But yeah, that was probably the most recent but most fun experience. And it was crazy.
Like, he didn't give enough detail. This man looked like he was ready to throw it across the street. Like, he looked like he was about to break the world's farthest beer chuck. And I'm like, oh, it must be an empty can. And he just full Randy Johnson's right into this dude's side of his face. Like, it was
2 feet
literally
away from him.
parallel, just direct hit. It was so funny. I replay it in my mind at least once a day. Also, during that 5-person brawl, I ate the microphone. Someone like knocked it down and smacked me right in the head.
I mean, another great experience is after the Jabberjaw show we played in Allentown, we projectile vomited for probably 3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And then you literally scared people away.
Yeah, I had Burger King before we played them.
That was a very interesting one. You know when someone tells a joke and it's really funny the first time, but 9 times later it's just not funny anymore? So we got done playing a song, and Brandon went on his knees, and he started throwing up. And it was really funny at first, for like the first 10 seconds. But then he just didn't stop, and he just kept going. To the point where like we were breaking our gear down around him as he's just still throwing up. Like, hey bud, come on, you gotta stop so we can go now. And then they had to bring out a mop bucket, and they made him mop his own puke in front of everybody. It was a great moment.
In the future, who's like a band or someone you guys would love to like collaborate on a song with?
I mean, I don't know about collabing on a song. I feel like that's kind of not uncommon in metal, but I wouldn't mind like a split in the future.
Mm.
Like if we release music with anyone, I'd probably say like our best friends, Dissensions. They're
Allentown based.
yeah, Allentown based, super talented guys. Some of our best friends, and they've been ever since we started really playing music, like as a band. They've been there from the beginning. So, but yeah, that's who I would want to release with. There's a lot of other bands too.
How about Kyle? Do you have an idea, Kyle? Who would you like to do a collab with or play with?
Iron Maiden.
I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty badass.
It's a joke. I don't know. I feel like we could do something cool with Dower, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ooh.
And we're friends, so.
So like outside of music, what are some like hobbies or interests that like influence you?
Kenny drives race cars.
I drive race cars and collect guns. Which actually will kind of play into our music video that we're gonna have coming up.
Yeah, we're filming a music video, and it's gonna have Kenny's guns and his car in it. So it's literally the music video made for Kenny. And then Kyle, in his free time, he likes to look like he's actually he's an Al cosplayer from Home Improvement. You know the show.
Yes. I just lift weights and I listen to songs about Vikings while lifting weights. So even though the song is Kenny,
you are faster though. You can beat him in a foot race.
We never proved it.
I read a lot of comic books as I have a gigantic stack next to me. But yes, comic books. I like movies. Marvel Universe is awesome, and that is my PG-13 answer to my passions and hobbies.
What is like a dream venue you guys would love to play at?
Ooh, I mean, it's not odd. I like that question. What do you think, Kenny or Kyle?
I feel like Wacken is always like
Yeah.
probably the go-to answer. But yeah, just being on a gigantic stage in Germany is probably the pinnacle, honestly.
Yankee Stadium, like the Big Four did.
Why not City? I'd say Budokan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Budokan in Japan.
A lot of people think of heavy in like different terms of like music or when it comes to metal. Like when people think heavy, they can either think of like, oh, the screams are heavy, like oh, the guitars, drums. Like what do you guys think like heavy means when it comes to music?
A lot of bass. No. I think a perfect mix of bass, but audible bass. I think there's not enough bands that have bass that you could hear. Great example would be Injustice for All from Metallica. I think audible bass, but having a powerful vibe. I think my biggest attraction to music is when you can almost put yourself in that energy and feel the energy as you're listening to it. Like they always say pump up songs or gym songs. I mean, I think that's an example as well. But music that you could feel and actually almost gain a sense of energy from. So, I mean, that's my big thing. Good amount of bass, double bass, and a little bit of screaming.
Double bass.
It does. Anyway, your opinion.
Anyway, I don't know. That's like a really hard question to answer. It's just something that I guess kind of to your answer, like the energy, but I wouldn't know what to describe heavy. Like I think a lot of stuff is generally pretty good. Like I like death metal and deathcore and metalcore and all that stuff, but like thrash metal songs can be heavy, and like I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. You, Kyle?
I'm gonna say, like, just like the heavy guitars and definitely double bass, because I feel like double bass definitely pushes some people away, and that's like I think that's a defining factor of like people say, oh, I could get into this, and then when you hear like cranked double bass, people are like, oh, that's too intense. So
Intense. No, I've heard that before too.
No.
What about Power Trip?
What?
No double bass.
yeah, that's why so many people like them, because there isn't any. That's what I'm saying.
Like especially recently, like I don't know if a lot of you are on TikTok or not, but when it was a few months ago when Lorna Shore came out with To the Hellfire, and
Oh, yeah.
everyone, like, when that breakdown happened, everyone was like flipping out, or like people even went, they're not like preferred genre, like they don't really listen to metal, and then they heard that for the first time and they're like, oh no, too much for me.
That was like a Slaughter to Prevail with Demolisher. That was
Yeah, but that stuff to me, like I don't know, like
I mean, I might have cracked my armrest in my car to one of those.
there's like Thy Art Is Murder and stuff, like that's really good. I really enjoy that, but like I like Traverse the Abyss too, but like just going from the like trying to make it's just I don't know. I don't know what about it that I just don't like. It doesn't really rustle my jimmies as much as it does everyone else. I respect it, of course, but it's just like I feel like now the main goal in that genre is just to like, hey, can you make a weird animal noise as low as possible, like, and you're like, oh, cool, let's record that and put it to a breakdown.
Yeah, but hey, to some people it works.
Oh yeah, some people it works. Just to me, it doesn't.
Yeah, like I feel like, especially I guess over the past year, like when people started making like YouTubes or TikToks and they would just react to like just metal breakdowns.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of newer bands, like especially like Lorna Shore, when they came out with that huge breakdown and they got like so many views from it, now it just seems like every band or most in like that genre are just trying to make the most brutal breakdowns just for YouTube reactions, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't say. I feel like it's just a competition to just get that, like you said, most brutal breakdown.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm interested in like hearing what like other musicians think about all that. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, if it's got a good groove and it's heavy and it makes me want to hit something or break something, I'll listen to it.
I don't know. There's a lot of bands that like I just hear like a minute of the song and like I know that I'm not gonna like it. So I don't know if that makes me particular about certain sounds, but yeah, I agree with the groove thing. I think groove and lyrics I think can make or break a song.
So don't
If
listen.
it's catchy and groovy, like I mean that's the ingredients for like a good song.
Continuing on topic of heavy, who do you think is the heaviest band of all time?
Black Sabbath.
I don't even know.
Or if you want to do like a top 3 or whatever.
If I say anything, someone's gonna be like, Infinite Annihilator is the heaviest band. You're wrong. I feel like the heaviest guitars I think I've ever heard was Amon Amarth, like back in the day. So I don't know. They just make those Gibsons sound like stupid heavy. I don't understand. And just say Kenny says Slayer.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go Slayer.
Speaking of Slayer, this is a story about Kenny and I. We were seeing Slayer, and Kenny snuck off to the merch booth, and we're like, Kenny, what'd you get? And he's like, I got a shirt with a skull on it, and then I got another shirt with a skull on it.
Yeah, I didn't just buy 2 shirts with skulls. I also bought pentagram necklaces, bro. Which I still have.
On a scale of 1 to 11, how good is your new EP compared to the past ones?
Oh.
Honestly, I don't want to talk up to like 11 because I really enjoyed the last EP we did. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna go with a solid 8.
I'm curious what Kyle thinks.
What do you think, Kyle?
Um, I think it has more of a variety, so I'm gonna give it a 10. I think.
Ooh, not 11.
I'll go with 11.
Uh,
Final
I,
time.
I think this one is. Obviously the goal is to always try to do better and better and better. I think it follows the same line. This one's better than the other one. I don't know how much better, but I think people are going to be very satisfied with it. And like Kyle said, I think all 4 songs or 5 songs, or whatever it is, um, they're all different and they all have their own characteristic to them, and they all bring the power.
I I'm gonna give it an 11 because to me this is personally like emotionally how I feel. It's the first EP that we all officially wrote together. Like Manhattan Mischief, I wrote a lot of the guitar lyrics by myself. Trinity Terror was like I wrote 2 of them by myself, and then this one is strictly like this is the entire band working together, and I think this is a really cool collection of all of our ideas in these 5 songs. And I think that this is going to be a really good staple going forward to say that these are our Cruel Bomb songs, and this is the direction that we are. Like this is the band that we are, and it kind of shows our evolution between Trinity Terror and Man Made.
And when does the new EP come out?
January 7th.
Anthrax has a few songs based on Stephen King books. Blind Guardian has albums based on Tolkien's Middle Earth. Ice Nine dedicates their songs to horror movies. If you could base any song or album on any movie, book, or comics, what would you do?
The Walking Dead. uh,
Brandon's answer is gonna be
it's gonna be what?
Fallout.
No, no, no. Honestly, I don't think. Honestly, 2 songs so far have been about The Walking Dead and zombies and stuff.
Low key.
Low key, yeah. It's subtle, but I think that's the cool thing about what we write about is that it's not just one topic. We write inspirational. We write war. We write fun songs. Like we offer a little bit of different things. I think a lot of people could listen to us and find something that they like, as opposed to like, hey, here's 5 songs about the same thing.
I mean, the first 2 EPs were more about like a war or some type of atomic bomb and stuff. It always had that type of theme to it. This EP, it's a little bit different. You have one song that is really just about drinking beer. One song that has that. Oh yeah, 810. One song just about an airplane.
Yeah.
Blowing stuff up. um, one song is more of a kind of like a motivational but also heavy type thing. They all have their own characteristics to them. So I mean, I think it's more or less whatever idea pops into our head, we just kind of roll with it, see if we can make it work, and then go from there, and then we make it.
Yeah, honestly, if I was in a metal band, I'd do all Star Wars. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, it's that'd be tough. I feel like that'd be. You have to be really like subtle about it. You can't just be like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, I was thinking of like right before a breakdown, it was like do do do. Luke, I'm your father. Do 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 do.
Oh, or just be like dun 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 dun. General Kenobi. Dun, 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 dun.
Like it could work, but it also could be horrible.
Nah, it would be great. Just straight death metal blast beats.
Like you do have that Galactic Empire band who does like the original soundtrack but in metal for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like that works well, but like I don't know, kind of doing something like with what Ice Nine does now for horror movies. Like someone will do that for Star Wars eventually. Like it'll happen unless Disney tries suing them.
It'll be Indiana Jones band too.
If you had one message to give your audience, what would it be?
Get ready for EP number 3, and I'm excited for everyone to hear it. It's gonna be a game changer compared to our other 2 EPs so far. I'm really excited for people to hear it. I'm really excited for us to get it out to people as soon as we can. Yeah, I'm excited.
Pre-order our EP Man Made now. Bandcamp, cruelbomb.com or cruelbomb570 Bandcamp. Pre-order it. Buy stuff.
Buy their merch.
How about you, Kyle?
Don't listen to Cruel Mom. Just kidding. In addition to anything else, come see our shows because it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Do it.
You got any shows coming up soon?
We have one confirmed for February 12th. That's at the Alternative Gallery in Allentown. That's one of our home locations there. We love Paul. We love everything that those guys do for us down there. And we may have a possible show.
We probably have a show coming up in Philly soon, and we have a show in March that's secret, so we can't talk about it yet.
Oh,
But
secret.
A secret show, but a show in March that we're all very, 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 very excited for.
Do any of you have any recommendations to give anyone listening right now?
Yes, listen to Eternal Champion.
Don't steal my. How dare you?
Go ahead, Kyle. You can say it.
Listen to Eternal Champion.
Our trip.
And Sabathon.
Halloween's new album. It's freaking awesome. And I'm on Marth always. Hey, I'm Kyle.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Kenny the bass player. We are Cruel Bomb, and you are listening to 88.5 WRKC Wilkes-Barre.